Hello guys, today we are going to realize a very moist and very sweet orange cake. I bet you guys from the moment you try this recipe, you'll spend your day making orange cakes because I used to make only lemon cakes, but when I discovered that I could make a sweet cake with orange, since then, I have never ever made a lemon cake again. Not to say lemon cake is not good, but orange is the best. Okay guys, let's jump right into the video. For this recipe, we are going to need a baking pan, more precisely one with the hole in the middle for the cake to really be as perfect as you want it to be. We are going to need a scraper to get out the orange zest. We are going to need 1 sachet of baking powder. You can also add vanilla sugar. I didn't have any sachet left, so I did the recipe without. We are going to need a brush that is to butter, for buttering the baking pan. We are going to need some sugar, some flour, all-purpose flour, a cup, like 200 milliliters, that's the measurement, and that is for the orange juicer, and some butter for the baking pan. We are equally going to need some oil and a spatula to pour out the batter into the baking pan. Okay, I will tell you the ingredients, the quantities as we go on with the video, but I'm going to leave it down below in the comment section. So do not forget to check out the description and subscribe, like the video, and tell me what you think about it. Do not hesitate to try it, guys, because as I told you earlier, you will really love this cake. Okay, firstly, I will start by separating the eggs. For this recipe, we are going to separate the eggs, the white from the yellow, from the egg yolk. Okay, I will start by separating my eggs. I have 6 eggs. You need 6 eggs for this recipe. Why do you have to separate the eggs? If you want like a very fluffy, very moist and very light cake, not chunky, a very light cake, you have to separate your eggs. If not, the cake is going to be heavy and like stuffed. But if you want a moist and very light cake, you separate the eggs and you beat the white separately to add at the end of the recipe. I also forgot to include that for my recipe, I use no machine, no blender, only with the hand. And trust me on this one, guys, I make this like every week for my kids because they so much love bakeries. So don't hesitate to try out this recipe, and I assure you, you will be satisfied. And once you're satisfied, come back to subscribe, come back to comment, and like and share, guys. Okay, I'll go on to separate my eggs, and 4 eggs, 6 eggs to separate. And after separating my eggs, I'll go on to add 2 cups of sugar. Like I told you, I am using a 200 milliliters cup for my measurement. To be sincere with you, I can't give you the exact quantity in grams, but I think it's like 300 grams of sugar. Do not say it's too much because this cake is the bomb, guys. I have made it, so I'm talking out of experience. I have made this cake for like several times. You can make it for parties, for birthdays, for snacks, anything you want. It's so yummy, delicious, sweet, and just the kind of cake you like to eat, especially when you're bored, like in quarantine time like this. You definitely need to try this recipe, guys. I'll go ahead and mix the sugar with the egg yolks, mix properly until there is no sugar left, until the sugar is completely dissolved into the egg. You mix until it starts becoming like whitish in color. It won't be completely white, but it will get whiter. If you're the lazy type and you really have to use a mixer, then you can use a hand mixer. To mix that to be like easy, to be like faster, you put the egg yolks and you put the sugar, and you mix that with a hand mixer. It depends on you. And after mixing, when the mixture becomes like whitish, I go on to add my oil, guys. For this recipe, I don't use butter. I use oil and I use milk because I like the fluffy type of cake, very moist, very sweet. I bet you guys the cake is so, I can't even tell you enough. You just need to try this out. Okay, I will go ahead to add my oil and to mix that properly. I put 2 cups of oil equally, that is like 400 milliliters. Do not say it's too much because the flour is much, and you'll see my baking pan, guys. It's like, I can say like 25. My baking pan is like 25 centimeters. I'm talking about the diameter, like 25, I think so. I'm not really sure, either 25 or 30. You can use any baking pan of your choice, even cupcake pan, but it depends on you. This recipe is really nice if you use one with a hole in the middle. Okay, I have added my oil as I told you, and I went on to add my flour. I added 5 cups of flour. You need to be precise in the measurements. Do not say your cake did not come out as said in the video. You need to be precise in the measurement. If you like, you can sieve your flour. But as for me, I usually see no difference with the sieve, whether I sieve my flour or not. So I went ahead, I added my 5. I'm sorry, I think I did that off camera because I had a call and I had to interrupt the recipe. Okay, but as I said, I added 5 cups of flour. I went ahead to mix that all, and I equally added my baking powder. I added like a sachet, that's like 2 teaspoons or 15 grams. The 15 grams sachet, I added all of it because you won't like the cake to be like stuffed. Like I said, you want it to hide very easily and properly. So I added 15 grams. If you're doing like half ingredients, you can add 7 grams of baking powder. It all depends on you. I'll go ahead with my scraper to take out the orange zest and add it directly to my mixture. I will go ahead, remove all of the orange zest for the 2 oranges, then use my orange juicer, my orange cup juicer, and extract the juice and add it equally to the mixture. For this recipe, you need it. I have seen so many recipes. I don't want to say they are not nice, but I have tried out one recipe where you had to grind the whole orange, but it came out with an awkward kind of taste because the orange peeling is usually a little bit bitter, that white skin on the orange, so you don't really need that. By the way, I didn't use that for my recipe, so all you need is the orange zest. I'm going ahead to open the orange to extract the juice and to add it directly to my mixture. Okay, as you see, guys, I'm extracting the juice, and when I'm done with that, I will add it to my recipe. I'll go ahead and mix it properly again until you get like a soft mixture again. Do not judge this recipe if you haven't tried it, guys. I bet you from the moment you try it, you will come back and tell me thanks. Very easy to realize. It can take a bit of time to beat the egg whites at the end, but it's like some people, when they are making cakes, they like it to go like swift and very easy. But you have to realize that in cakes, in bakeries, when you separate your eggs, the result you obtain at the end is not the same and will never be the same result you obtain when you use a whole egg. When you separate your eggs, you have like at the end a very light cake, but at the same time moist. But when you don't separate your eggs, your cake is little bit stuffy, as I said, and I can't say it's not really moist, but it's also moist. So it depends on how you proceed with adding all your ingredients and what you put. Like full eggs are usually better to use with butter to obtain a certain kind of cake, but it depends on you guys. Just go ahead, try this recipe. Don't hesitate to give it a try and tell me what you think about it. So I have added my juice, my orange, and I'm going ahead to mix it all again. And after that, I am going to add my milk. I am adding 1 cup of milk. Usually I don't make cakes with milk, but for this recipe, guys, you need milk. Before adding my milk, I forgot. Before you add your milk, you're going to add your one sachet of baking powder. That is 15 grams, the sachet. As I add my sachet of baking powder, I will mix it again properly before I add in my milk. For my milk, I'm just using a milk with 3.5% fat. But if you don't have the one with 3.5% fat, you can use the one with 1.5%. It depends on you. All milks are suitable for the recipe. I'll just add like 1 cup of milk. That's around, the cup was not full, so that's around 150 milliliters of milk I added into the mixture. I'll go on and mix it again properly, and after adding my milk, I'm going to go ahead and beat the egg whites. Usually you can do that with a fork, but I wanted to be faster and I had to use like a hand mixer for that, for it to be easier and quicker. So as you see, guys, I'm just going to mix that. You don't need to be so you need to take your time and mix that, incorporate that. You don't need to be so violent, so you take your time and mix, because if you overwork the dough, the end result will also be not really good as you expected. So you take your time and incorporate all the ingredients very smoothly. I'm going ahead to beat the egg whites, and I have a little tip for you guys. If you want your egg white to come up very quickly, you can add a little bit of lemon juice. You can add like 1 teaspoon of lemon juice or some few drops. You add it and you start beating your eggs. You see it will really be faster and it will high very quickly. Okay, I will beat my egg whites. I think I will do that off camera because I'm doing the recipe and filming at the same time. So I'll just do that off camera and show you the result. There we have like 6 egg whites. Like I told you, I'm using 6 eggs. So I separated the egg yolks from the egg white. That is my hand mixer. I'm going to go ahead to beat up the egg whites and then incorporate it gently to my mixture. I mean very gently. So I am like making the egg white. Guys, I'm sorry you're not getting any noise. I forgot to mention at the beginning, this video was originally recorded in French, and I'm just like making a voice over for my own video. I speak both languages, so I just said it could be nice if I share my recipe with the English speaking people. So I'm just like making a voice over. That's why the video is muted. I have muted the original sound and I am making a voice over for the video. Okay, after beating your egg whites, you go ahead and incorporate that gently into the mixture. There you see I've finished. That is the mixture you obtain, guys. If you want to be sure you have succeeded this recipe, you have to obtain that mixture at the end, very light, not sticky, and very flowing. The mixture has to be flowing. If not, rest assured your cake will not be moist as the one I obtained at the end. So you can go ahead